dub version on the DVD. Both. You put the English and the dub. Right. Right.
Because we are an independent company, we do the DVD ourselves.
All
It's
right.
like a big studio
Right.
here in Europe, where they have the same DVD all over Europe.
Right. 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 Oh, that's
Talking
great.
about the DVD, do you know if there's going to be any extra features? In
Yes, there are. There's a lot. There's 2.5 hours of
2.5
extra.
That's
Yeah,
what
of
we
extra.
should know.
Of extra things. There's a number of things. The first of all, there's some deleted scenes, extra scenes from the movie, and then there's a special a Showtime special that's behind the scenes that was shown. It was shown on Showtime as a cable network in in the United States, and that's on, and that's about an hour, I think, or maybe it's less, and that's actually interesting. Just a lot of fun behind the scenes, and then pieces of the movie interspersed too. But there's a lot of fun shots of the actors clowning around, and then there's this thing which is really just an audio feature. Although I think they may have put photos of the actors under, but Andy Breckman, the writer, and I went into the sound studio to record a commentary, and we just got real bored of our own commentary. It just didn't seem very interesting. So we had them hook up a telephone to the recording, and we just called the actors, and we just telephoned, and they didn't even know. They had no idea. We just caught them wherever they were, in their cars or at home. Cuba was about to get into the shower. And we just talked to them and said, "Hey, how you doing? What's going on? What are you doing? Do you have anything about the movie that you remember that you want to talk about?" Or just chatted with the actors, and it's really funny. I mean, everyone is very different, but it's a really unique interesting thing. But that's audio, so I don't know how much, if you don't. It probably wouldn't be very good translated, because you could subtitle it. It might work, so that they knew what. But otherwise, because it's really just audio, it may lose something. You're not going to be dubbing it, but
No, we'll subtitle.
yeah.
We'll have to see if we can get hold of all these extra features, and then we'll put them on.
Yeah. Right. Well, you get all the features. I mean, everything that they add in the States, you get here, right?
Not always.
Really?
It depends on who holds the rights of the extra features. Sometimes, if it's the same people that.
Well, it's Paramount, and I'm sure it should. Boy, ask. I mean, that'd be strange if I don't know why they would not let you the extra footage. It's all the same. It's owned by the same company as the movie. Everything is owned by the same companies as the movie. So
Well, we hope there won't be any problems. Okay, so how did this project start? Because you are not the screenwriter in this
not
movie.
correct.
Did the screenwriter come to you and offer you the project, or was it your?
I had worked with Andy Breckman, the screenwriter, on a couple projects, one of which we're still hoping to get made, and I have a good relationship with Paramount Pictures and the people there, and so they kind of both, I think, decided to send it to me, and I just, I wasn't really looking for this kind of a comedy or any. I try to be genre neutral. In other words, I try to really just find the best piece of material at any one time. And I just read this, and I thought it was the funniest thing. I just kept laughing, and thought it was really, really funny. And then I got together with Andy and started to brainstorm and come up with more stuff. And then I just said, okay, I've got to direct this. This is too much, too outrageous, and too much fun, and so then just proceeded on from there.
Is this your return to comedy after the decade of the 90s, where you just stood with dramas with First Night and films that were dramas.
Yeah.
Did you have the need to return to comedy? Or
Well,
were
I
you more
did.
comfortable there? Or?
Neither. I mean, Ghost was a drama, but it also had a lot of comedy in it. And as a producer, my best friend's wedding was comedy, but it had been a while since I had done this kind of broad comedy. And as I said before, I wasn't looking necessarily I didn't feel that I had to do a comedy, but after I started working on Rat Race, I was really happy to be doing comedy again. I mean, then I felt like, oh, I'm so glad I found this movie, and it just felt great, and I had, I think, more fun than any movie I've worked on.
This movie is not as crazy as the last ones, like Airplane or Top Secret. Is that because you were not on the script? Or?
No, well, I think it is as crazy. It's just not a satire. In other words, there are different rules. Satire, because of the kind of comedy that Airplane is, you're always making fun of the fact that it's a movie. So you can have a scene where they say turn on the autopilot, and it's an inflatable autopilot. Now, this is a very different kind of movie. These characters are actually, and that you see, we were satirizing old movie conventions and all those old flying movies, and really all, just that style of acting with Robert Stack and Lloyd Bridges and Leslie Nielsen, all these guys. It was a very different form. This is really just more broad comedy. I don't know what other category to put it in, but in this movie, everyone was playing a real character. In other words, the one of the nice things that Andy did in the script was that in a very short period of time, he delineated some very distinct characters, gave everybody something to play. Mother and daughter who had never met before, referee who had blown the big call, brothers who are stupid but love each other, but they all really stick to their characters, and then the outrageousness comes from the situation they're in. But we would never do anything as outrageous as an autopilot, because it's not possible. Now here we go very, very broad, but everything in this movie I could point to and say technically it's possible. Very unlikely, there are a few things that are stretches, but basically I think it's, it could happen. It's just not probably going to.
How did you do the casting? Did you decide the actors first and then you gave them a role?
No, we in a movie like this, I think in any movie, you have to look at the role and say, okay, who's best to play it, and certainly that's what we did here. Now there were certain, actors that we said, oh boy, I'd love to put X in this movie. How, I wonder if there's anything he could play. But really, it was it ended up in this movie to say, okay, who's best? I mean, like, who can play Polini, And there's really only one person that could play this role. I'm glad he said yes. I mean, it's hard to imagine because Polini is the character that in a group of nuts, he's the one everybody thinks is crazy, and so it required someone who could play a character that was really out there. It was a little more wacky than the rest. So, Rowan became the perfect person for it, and I think all the way through we made those kinds of decisions, and I'm thrilled with the cast. I mean, I just think it's the greatest group of actors for these parts, and also they were just a great group of people to work with.
We know there are a couple of scenes that finally didn't make it to the final cut. Was it your decision, or
Yeah.
was it censored by?
No, nothing got censored by Paramount. all the decisions were mine. I actually have what they call final cut, which means they can, I can, yeah. As long, I mean, some things I made a few little changes to get the ratings in the United States, the PG-13 rating, but very, very tiny little things, a word a couple times. No, otherwise what was the second half of your question? I already,
No,
or is that it?
If it was censored.
Oh, censored. No, there was no. Yeah, no. But there are scenes. That's what I know. I remember what you said. Yeah, there are scenes that were cut because I felt they weren't funny enough, and those hopefully are on the DVD.
Yeah.
They are in the United States, and I'm sure they will be on this very DVD that you're watching.
Okay. Okay. Would you mind doing a greeting for
Sure.
people who watch the DVD?
Oh, sure.
Just an introduction.
Introduction. Hey, welcome to the DVD Spain edition, right? Okay, is that right? Okay, hello, I'll say it again. Hello, now I threw you out of focus. Welcome to the Spain DVD edition. I think it's a wonderful DVD. I love the size, I love the color of it. I like the box that it's in, I think it's really nice. The movie, it's okay. And there's some other little added things which are kind of cute, and you get to see me. I hope you didn't pay too much. Anyway, enjoy the